Hi Jerry, how's it going?
How are you doing? You well?
Good, and you?
Season great.
Yeah, you're well, good.
Starting off, first you're very
Sorry,
welcome.
I'll give you a ring later, we'll arrange something, okay?
Sorry, first you're all very welcome. If I could ask you to silence or turn off your phones, please. And
Good, Keith.
obviously with Paul O'Connell here, the other players will be coming through over the next few minutes as well. But I want to kick things off. We'll start off with TV and broadcast, and then we'll continue on with newspapers so that they're on piece as well. So if you want to kick off, Shane, you ready?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Paul is not Shane from BeanymanNews. I suppose first of all, just this is preparation truly well underway now. We're looking forward to Saturday as a management team from your own perspective as well. What are you hoping to get out of the contest on Saturday evening?
I suppose we're hoping to hit the ground running. You know, we've a big body of work put in already, even before pre-season starts. You know, we're not starting from scratch. We weren't hoping to, I suppose, make massive changes to our game plan. We were hoping that it would evolve a little bit, and I suppose we'd hope to see some of that come out at the weekend. We'd also hope to see some of how we've trained coming out of the players as well. You know, we've trained in a certain way, which hopefully prepares them for games. Sometimes I think in pre-season, the rugby side of it or the matches side of it almost comes as a little bit of a shock, whereas we're hoping that won't be the case with these guys for this pre-season.
In terms of team selection as well, what would be the focus here, considering it's quite a large group that obviously will be whittled down? Is this a chance for some of the more fringe members, for want of a better phrase, to progress?
Yeah, there'll be a chance for some people for sure. Some people need a bit of game time, haven't played in a little while and want to hit the ground running. I think the way we've trained probably will suit those guys as well, but really you need to feel the build-up of a match. You know, you need to have the thinking that goes into how you train and how you play as well. Sometimes in pre-season, even though we've played a lot of rugby in pre-season, sometimes it's, you're running hard, you're working hard, you don't have the stress of the game on top of you. And I think for a lot of the guys, I think that's what they're looking forward to, seeing the kind of shape they're in, but seeing the kind of shape they're in with a game stress on top of them as well.
Thanks,
Paul, injuries, everybody's fit and ready to go. How do you balance that in these friendlies? Because that's almost one of the most important things, is it, to try and keep everybody fit come the end of these 3 games, ready to go into the Romania.
Yeah, it's the same as normal. You know, we're trying not to break them in training, but trying to prepare them properly as well. And, come the match, you can't worry about injuries. All these guys want to go to the World Cup in good shape. They want to go to the World Cup match fit and ready to play. So, you have to train. You have to get ready for the physical aspects of the game, and you have to play games, and you have to be physical in those games. And will some of the guys fall down over the next few weeks? For sure, we'll lose 1 or 2, but we need to be in a good place heading to the World Cup, because it's going to be a physical battle. We're lucky in that we have that little break in the middle of the back end of the group stages. So that'll be good for us. But all the guys want to be in the best possible shape going to the World Cup, and that isn't just being injury free, that's being physically ready to play as well. So it's not something we spend a lot of time on. I think we spend a lot of time, I suppose, managing their load in training, managing the contact in training, but whether we're heading to a World Cup or whether we're halfway through a Six Nations, we're doing that anyway.
Number 10, spot is up for grabs. Have the guys who are looking to try and impress in these 3 friendlies, have they been given a plan of how it's going to work, or is it, right guys, see how you impress in training and I'll pick the best person on the day for it?
Well, they haven't been, informed this is how we're selecting for the next 4 weeks. That's for sure. They're all playing for places, but I suppose Johnny's suspension allows those guys own it a little bit, and it puts us in a good position heading into the World Cup, because those guys get to accumulate a bit more experience, not just of playing on the big day, but of owning it and running the week and driving some of the detail as well. So So Johnny's suspension is unfortunate for us, but there's a real good silver lining there for us in it as well.
And then finally, is it a chance to experiment in these 3 games, or will it be pretty much just ramping up the fitness as you get towards that Romania game?
We've clarity on what we want to do, and we've trained one team against another. And it's something we do during the Six Nations as well, that by the time we get to Friday, we hope we have 2 teams that are generally ready to play, that know our plays, that know our strategy, that could jump in and out. And on the back of that, when we have picked up injuries in captain's runs and warm-ups, we've been in a pretty good place. And that's the way it's been throughout the pre-season as well. So, whoever gets a go, it certainly won't be an experiment. We won't be crossing our fingers, or we won't be seeing how they go. We've a pretty good idea how guys are going to go anyway. So, and that's down to the way we've been preparing and training.
As a management group,
Paul, just on the home record, obviously that's been really impressive, and while these games are a build up to the World Cup, how much emphasis is on keeping that home record going?
I don't even know what the home record is. I honestly don't know. I know it was mentioned a few times during the Six Nations, but we haven't spoken about it. I don't think we haven't spoken about it because we're trying to stay away from outcomes, but really we've been, I suppose, focusing on our game and how we deliver our game, whether that's the ruck or our attack or our defence or our line-out or our maul, how we, I suppose, look after each other during the week and how we prepare during the week, and we hope that puts us in a good position to achieve good results. For sure during the Six Nations we would have spoken about it, the Grand Slam, once or twice, but it wouldn't have been a focus, and same with the home record. Having said that, the players do really enjoy playing in the Aviva. The experience of the build-up in Carton House, then heading into the Shelbourne Thursday evening, Friday, and playing in the Aviva Stadium. The lads get a massive buzz out of it, and I would say part of that buzz and part of how much they enjoy it probably contributes to our home record, whatever that is at the moment. I genuinely don't know what it is. So,
just from a personal point of view, you've been part of World Cup squads as a player. What's it like on this side of it? How different is it, and how much do you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's very different. I've actually never done a pre-season as a coach, funnily enough. So it's been an interesting experience for me, and even the way it's changed. There would have been a lot of running, maybe without a ball in the earlier years, and then it would have been a lot of games, and so you're probably building a skill set around handling the ball, but you're probably not getting better at your game. You're getting better at Fiji touch or end ball or these kind of games that we played. Whereas I suppose we've stuck to playing our game against one another with various constraints on it, numbers up and numbers down and wider pitches and things like that. So I think that's the most enjoyable for us, because the players are getting used to the pictures they're going to see in a real match, rather than the pictures they might see in a small-sided game or whatever it is. So that's been enjoyable. I think pre-season for coaches and for players is enjoyable because you haven't got the game hanging over you. On a Saturday you can work really hard Monday to Friday, and you can go home Friday and take a bit of time off and recharge. So from that point of view, as a player, I always enjoyed pre-seasons, and I certainly enjoyed it as a coach now as well. You haven't had the opposition to focus on as well, so you're solely working on getting your unit better, or an individual player better, or better at certain aspects of our game, and that's that's been really enjoyable, because the challenge of the Six Nations is the different challenges you'll meet every week against teams, and will they do what you think they're going to do, and you're you're worried that they're going to double guess you. So there's a good bit of the preparation in the week goes into that. So being able to focus on ourselves all week has been very enjoyable.
Just finally for me, just on Ian Henderson's contract, obviously he's got that signed recently. How important was it to get that over the line, to give him a good run heading into the World Cup, and how important will he be for you?
I didn't know he'd signed the new contract. Breener, you're not updating me on anything. But no, I knew it was ongoing. I knew it was close. So that's fantastic. He's a brilliant guy in the squad. He's, one of the things that when I came in that Andy was coaching in a big way was calm. Players being calm when the big moment came, and Hendy has that in abundance. And he's a good foil for different guys who can be quite emotional on the big day, which is really important as well. So he's brilliant experience. Having been to World Cups before, having been on Lions tours. He's a line-out caller for us, so that makes him a line-out leader. Really experienced. Ulster do a great job up there, so he brings a lot of that IP with him as well. So and he's a big man. He trained really, really well today. He needs a run of consistent training and consistent games. He's such an important player that when he comes back from injury, he's very often straight into whatever team he's on, and that can be a challenge. So it's great to see him taking full part in every session all pre-season, and hopefully that puts him now in a good place to kick on and play well for us.
As a management group, have you laid out a rough roadmap of the lineups you're going to be picking over the next 3 weeks and the combinations you want to see? Or is it a week-on-week process? There'll be, I suppose, rough plans laid out, but, I think Andy finishes every meeting with the best laid, he's saying his best laid plans and all that. We just have to be adaptable, and it's one of the things around being able to have players that can play in a few different positions has been quite important for us, and that's been one of the good things about this rugby block, that it hasn't been solely fitness games or fitness training. We've been doing proper rugby, which allows guys get up to date with a few different positions, because I'm sure as the competition goes on and injuries will happen, that's a challenge we're going to have to deal with. But we'd have a rough idea, but we're aware that that'll have to change week to week. And very quick, fitness permitting, would you expect all players in the group to get around at some stage over these 3 weeks?
I would imagine so. I would imagine so. I think it depends what throws up now in the next few weeks. We start games this weekend. We'll have a big training week where we get a bit of heat stress in Portugal. It's a very fast track down there, which throws up the challenges. The guys, they want to train fast, and that track down there is excellent for us. It's been a great training week for us when we've gone down there during the winter. But it is a real fast track, and it's thrown up a few little niggles, so we'll have to manage those. As Andy said, we've the best laid plans, but we're aware we'll have to be adaptable as well.
Thanks. Just last question for Rocco.
Well, with Johnny coming back from his injury, how is he fitness-wise, and how do you make sure that he's ready for the World Cup, given he can't be involved?
Yeah, it's a big strength of his, because he's had to do it so often, where he is very good at being able to come back from injury and hit the ground running. I think certainly out half you need to be fit, but it's maybe not the work rate position that a back three is, or maybe even some of the forwards is. You can come in and hit the ground running pretty well, and he's been really good at that. Whenever he's come back from injuries, he rarely needs a lot of games to get back up and running. It's a real strength of his. He's trained since the start of pre-season pretty much. He hasn't missed a training session, and as I said, the way we've trained, a lot of it has been rugby. You know, for sure, you're missing a bit of the heavier contact part to that week to week. We've no choice with that. We have to manage them and keep them injury free. So that'll be the final piece of the jigsaw for him. And I would say coming closer to the end of August, there'll probably be a bit of heavier contact put into his work in training at the end of trainings. But I think the way we train suits the scenario he's in, and I think it's a strength of his to be able to come back as well, having been out. You know, you meet Johnny on a Monday or Tuesday, and he can talk about any match that was on TV. I don't know how he gets away with it. He seems to watch an awful lot of rugby. He thinks a lot about rugby, so I think that kind of helps him hit the ground running when he comes back. So it's certainly, I'd say it's a worry for him. He wants to finish playing really, really well, and I'd say he'd love to have a few more games under his belt, but it is what it is, and as I said, it's a silver lining for our squad. It allows some guys to take ownership, so it's not something I'm worried about.
Okay, that's it for the broadcast element, please, and we'll just continue on for newspapers. That's all right.